Yeah, I don't mind the graphics at all. I think it looks pretty good.
Okay.
Unless you want like, I don't know if you're looking like hentai style. I don't know what you guys want, but I think it's great as it is.
Wait, what's hentai style? What is that?
I don't even know anime. I'm trying to.
I think he meant to say anime.
Did you
No,
just?
I said hentai.
This is the ultimate boomer statement. Y'all kids in your hentai looking art games.
Okay, my kids don't know what I mean.
I love the hentai art style. I mean anime. Oh my god, Perez.
Same thing or whatever.
It is not the same thing. It is not the same thing.
It's pretty good.
Aloha everybody. Welcome back to another podcast. As you can see today, we're gonna be running a format. I actually had like 8 people invited, but nobody wanted to show up. So I appreciate you guys showing up. Yeah, Gatakog, Lucky Madman, and Tyler. I appreciate you guys tuning in today. Should be pretty fun talking a couple of the topics that we have set up for today. Anything you guys want to talk about before we get into this here? Any random topics? Any random things you want to say as before we start? No?
Yeah. Your pack openings are lit. I don't even. I know nothing about the world of Pokemon or like collection cards, but like watching your streams when you guys are doing pulls is lit. It's just, it's an enjoyable, fun time, and I think it's really cool that you're doing that. So thanks for putting on that content for us.
Watching those.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah. It's so nostalgic watching you open up all these old Pokemon cards. It's like pretty exciting stuff. Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, so if you guys are on YouTube, we've been doing a lot more Pokemon openings lately. It's been a big hobby of mine, and I kind of just, pulled the trigger on it. I was like, you know what, let's just do some openings. I'm always known for doing openings anyways and, hyping things up and having a good time. So started doing Pokemon openings, and it's been pretty great. So make sure you guys tune into the streams. We'll definitely have some fun with those, and any questions you guys have on Pokemon, same for you guys. All right, back into the major topic here of Summoners War. Let's go ahead and start off with the topic number 1. Let's talk SWC Finals. What were your thoughts? How did you enjoy it? Obviously, there's a lot of things that, we can discuss here about the matches, what you enjoyed, what you didn't, what match was hype, what matches weren't. Go ahead and take it away. The sky is the limit, but we'll just keep it here to the SWC Finals.
So I didn't watch the actual like final match yet, but I watched everything up until then. Miho solo, 10 out of 10.
Yes.
Oh, that was so
we love
sad.
a good Miho solo. You know what? If in a tournament setting though, if you draft a Miho and the enemy lets it through, like if you know you're on high crit, you kind of deserve it. Like if you have like defense buff or like a shield maybe, then I could be like, well, then the Veligil would kill it with the dot and stuff. But like he's like high like, crit damage, high crit builds. You're just gonna get punished by that dude. You're gonna get punished.
Yeah, it was pretty exciting. Like one time, Shiwu had a chance to kill it with second skill, and he went second skill, missed the first crit, and then he crit on the second hit.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. I did a little highlight of that match because it was I didn't expect to see a Miho in SWC. And the fact that he picked it, and the fact that he was drafting like a lot of weird things. He was playing like Com2uS, he was playing Vern and Rakan. Rakan didn't really do anything, I don't feel, except was a punching bag. But it worked, right? It didn't matter what he did because it worked, and it was kind of cool to see it being pulled off. But from a unit that we called really, really OP and we had issues with for a long time, you guys remember that? To actually finally being able to be seen in SWC. I mean, I think you deserve to lose if you're gonna lose to that. I feel like it's out of everything that you can handle, everything you can draft, these guys, you shouldn't lose to a Miho. So it was a very good pick by him and a very good match. Very entertaining. Yeah. Very, very entertaining.
Definitely, yeah.
Any other matches that you guys were interested in watching and you guys enjoyed?
Charmy.
Tell me about that.
One.
Charmy, like when all of his matches against Lest, I guess, because he picked Rakan on and on with the Com2uS. It was just, I don't know, I didn't expect it. He wanted to force it, and I guess it worked.
It was just enough sustain to keep his team like a little bit above where it needed to be every single turn. So like he managed to avoid getting like one shot a lot, and he just like lightly sustained. It's like having I don't know, like a Tetra or something, right? Like your Tetra heals everybody for like a small amount every turn, or like having like a Raccoon that just heals enough to keep everyone alive. It's not like Molly, where like Molly just heals a bajillion HP every turn, but it was just enough to constantly keep him alive while still having like pressure, because you get the pushback from it too, right? So like it is a complicated unit, and I think for the most part it is fairly weak, but he made it work really well.
What's really funny about that is that for the guys that don't know, he summoned both Cadiz as well as a Yonhong on the same day. But he chose to come to the tournament with the Cadiz instead of the Yonhong. He never drafted the Yonhong at all. So
I thought that was
I don't
interesting.
know. That was a bit strange. I thought we would have seen his Yonhong in action at the tournament, but maybe he didn't get comfortable with it in time.
So thoughts on that? And this is because this is something that I've been struggling with a lot. Win Monkey King is actually pretty good against Yunhong. If people are running like faster Yunhong teams, slamming down like a Win Monkey King Molly is really effective because that unit is ridiculous right now, and it doesn't have enough pressure, or like the Yunhong doesn't have as much pressure into it unless you get like fast defense break, fast kills. So you put down the Win Monkey King, but the Cadiz can deal with that because the Cadiz can hold it back better than any other unit can, right? It's like having a Lauren against or something, but it also has the damage pressure to go with it. So it's a little bit of a unique thing. I wonder if maybe that was his thought process with that. I know on ladder, a lot of people have been picking this like Win Monkey King Molly Veligul into like the really fast teams. Like my team just gets shit on by that. So it's really, it makes me wonder if that was possibly the reason why he didn't go with his Yunhong, right? Or maybe he just wanted to flex.
I think maybe it's also he wasn't he didn't play enough with it as well, right? He you kind of have to practice to use it. I mean, as OP as Yunhong is, right, or any other unit, you have to get used to that style of draft and play, right? Just one unit can change up the dynamic of the way that you're drafting and the way that you're bringing your units in. So a little bit of nerves there as well doing that. But I think the Cadiz was nice. I've seen some people use it on ladder, and people underestimate it, I feel, a lot more often than not. Like, just for example, Dark Monkey King has been pretty predominant, and I see that he's actually really, really strong and really, really good, and people just underestimate him because they don't play enough against him. So I think it was interesting to use, an LD Nat 5 like that, Cadiz, and having it work well.
When it comes to the Monkey Kings, I think a lot of people underestimate them because they don't realize the strength of their buffs in the recent patch. Yep. So like Win Monkey King, people still are like, they're finally picking up that like Win Monkey King's busted, right? 50% attack bar on skill 2. The unit has a 2-turn cooldown, 35% counter chance, 35% damage mitigation. That unit is insanely tanky, insanely strong. Awakens at a base speed, so it's 115. When you look at the Dark Monkey skill 2 strips now, and because all their skill 2s are lower cooldowns, they're even stronger. And then Light Monkey King is just ridiculous now. Like, I was talking with Ken about this the other day, and I was trying to convince him, like, I think Light Monkey King might actually be better than Hathor right now. Just because of like the way the game plays, it feels like the pressure from the slow debuff is way better than using Hathor, even though Hathor can ignore elements, right? And he's base speed awakening too, so like he already is by default a fairly strong unit.
All the monkeys have insane base speed. Like Dark steals a buff and defense breaks while doing it with 118 base speed or something.
They're all like different. They're all one base speed difference.
Yeah, they're all one.
They're pretty insane. Yeah, Monkey Kings are definitely going to be like the new hype. I mean, they've always been hyped, to be honest. But the last couple of buffs have really pushed them a little bit more into the meta, and the way that people are drafting units and the types of units they're drafting, it's become a nice environment for them to fit right into here. So I think we're going to see a lot more into ladder coming into the following, RTA seasons as well. Going back to the matches here, anything else interesting that you guys saw from these matches that was kind of cool? Right? Did you have any other thoughts on any of the other players, even the ones that didn't make it through? Like, I think the big trend for the entire SWC is what the fan favorite is the loser. For like literally the entire tournament. If a lot of people bet somebody, they lost from cup to cup to cup into the finals.
To be fair with that, I think it didn't help because I think the two fan favorites were the people that fought each other in the first round. I really do think because like we are Twitch people and like YouTube people, like the fan favorites are most generally going to be the English speaking streamer or YouTuber, and like Villy and Jeff are definitely two of the most popular ones.
Right. I was really surprised to see that they actually matched them together, considering they both won their respective cups. Yeah. It was really surprising to see both first seeds faced each other. I thought they would have at least put the first seeds facing at least the second or third seeds. But
I don't think it was seeded. I think it was drawn, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it was drawn.
They drew it randomly.
I think that, like, if you're winning the cup, surely you get the advantage of not facing the winner of another cup.
I agree with that. I think that's a better way to run tournaments.
Yeah, but I mean the argument, right? They can always say like, oh, it's just because we don't want people to tank the matches to face other people. But then again, are they really gonna do that because there's a monetary amount involved? You know what I mean? Like usually people are gonna try, but it's always gonna be something controversial either way, right? Regardless of how it's done. But so I think the random is not too bad, right? Because if you're technically doing it random, then it's actually totally random. So I think there's like less flaws with it. right? Things can get matched up that will be weird, but there'll be less flaws because they'll be able to always say it was randomized, right? It was totally randomized. So, yeah, but they definitely put a powerhouse as the first match with J-Mac and Villy. Like, I think Jeff was a big favorite. I don't know if all the pressure also kind of got to him as well, but Villy and Jeff's match was nice to see, right? But there were definitely some mistakes in there. But, you know, like I said, whoever's the fan favorite is the one that's losing. But Jeff looked really good. I thought he was going to win because he did very well. Like, his track record and everything he's practiced and studied for, he did very well this year. Not to take away from that, but I thought he was going to take the whole thing home. I really did.
At the end of the day, it doesn't matter how well you prepare, how good you are, how fast you are. If you get 15%ed by everything, you just lose.
True. Very true.
He missed 2 strips on double resist. It wasn't like harmful effect didn't apply or anything. I went back to check and I was like, wow, that's pretty unlucky. Like, missing 1 is understandable. Missing 2 is pretty bad, especially on when you needed one of those 2 targets more specifically than someone else.
But, you know, looking at the matches, I mean, the one that stands out the most to me is, you know, match number 3, right? If you're going to be ruining 2 of your, you know, main units there on non-will, as well as you're going to be drafting units like that into that match, and you just straight up lost, I mean, that's just a mistake, right? He's going to review that match and be like, damn, I should not have drafted that. Yeah, because I know that these don't have will. So props to Villy for recognizing that and being like, hey, I just fought these things and I know they don't have will. Let me take advantage of that and go against them right here, right? I think the meta wasn't no will and the Ganny was no will. And I think he recognized that.
He was trying to speed contest the Barbara.
Yeah.
Is what it was.
Yeah.
And to be fair as well, Beta does have a higher base speed, so at the same lead, like, that just comes down to raw like rune speed.
Yeah, he had an opportunity to pick a 30 lead and a 24, but he went with 24. I don't think that was a mistake though, but it was a tough call for sure.
Right.
Like, in hindsight, it's a mistake, but at the time, it's like, if I get first turn, having this 24 lead will win me the game versus like having the 30 lead ruining my speed sync, for example.
Yeah.
But would you say that paying attention to the other matches and the matches before, he could get a much better gauge of Villy because he knows Villy's pretty fast, right?
I think he had a really good gauge on it. I think that Villy may have gotten like a small speed upgrade.
I wonder how much speed it was. Like, imagine it was like 1 speed, dude. Oh my god, that'd be so gross.
I will honestly bet you it's 1 speed difference.
That's so gross.
Possibly.
That's like the I moved a rune right before the tournament kind of.
Ugh.
Or
he
like,
could have
I
got an
got a
upgrade
rune
that we
and I
don't
was
know about.
hiding it until like the last day.
Right. That's true.
Yeah, the third match, I feel like the decision was slightly based on tilt, but at the same time, like, I get it. Making that challenge is like, if you get it, it's worth it, 100%. It's a gamble,
True.
right?
Yeah, it was definitely more of a hindsight thing. Like, we all said, you know, if you think about it, Better's got the higher base speed on Barbara.
I would have done the same thing. 100%.
I would have done the same thing. And then you get beaten, and then you're like, okay, yeah, I probably should have taken the 30 lead, and then just, you know, you would have taken turn 1. The whole thing would have been different. But what it was at the end of the day.
Right. Any other matches that kind of stood out for you guys?
Joe Gunn was a mistake.
Oh yeah, I saw that. You know, I wasn't paying attention, and I'm bad with colors. I thought it was a Chun Pong.
So the worst part I think about the Joe Gun was in the last rotation of turns, he used the Seal Scroll on the Veligil instead of using it on the Vigor. He should have used it on the Vigor and killed the Veligil, so Vigor wouldn't have had immunity, and he could have just fought it at a 3v1.
And also thinking about it as well.
At least that's what I think was a mistake.
Which unit would, you know, also have more res, right? It'd probably be Vela. It's very common to have high res Velas nowadays.
Well, okay, so the res he did actually hit the seal, but the thing is,
because he did miss a seal though. He missed the seal.
He missed one of the early ones, yes.
Right.
But I'm thinking like at the end of the match. At the end of the
Mm.
match, I think he should have sealed the Vigor.
So it was still winnable with the missed seal. You're just saying you think it was a wrong targeting for the second rotation.
I also think it wasn't worth picking it. Like Joe Gunn is so. If you miss with Joe Gunn, he does nothing at all. Like there is no recuperation. There is no like, oh well, you know, if you miss with Sekhmet, your cooldown's back. If you know all these things, like with Joe Gunn, it's like you miss, it's like you're sitting there for a turn doing nothing, and it sucks.
Yeah, that was a hype for using him. People were like kind of getting a good groove using him, and then after that, people just realized that it wasn't worth the risk. Yeah, and especially in tournament play, you weren't going to be seeing it, so it just kind of dissipated. And then Chun Pong started taking lead a lot more of the ladder. Do you think that did we see enough Chun Pong? You feel? Do these players just not have Chun Pong, or they just didn't have opportunities to use it? Because I feel like Chun Pong is such a solid draft. Why didn't they play it as often? I'm very curious.
Not everyone contests for first turn control. Like a lot of players are like single target first turn control, whereas like I feel like I guess maybe in North America and like global server, a lot of us play more for like first turn AoE control. So like Chu and Chongpeng are really, really common picks for us. Whereas like over there, you'll see a lot more like I want my Sierras, I want my Speed Leads, I want my Vanessa. You know, I maybe I'll take the Fran, but I really, really like Hathor, Okeanos, Gani. Like those are solid picks because they're very strong in their respective single target as well as first turn and second turn. Whereas like Chongpeng is like I want to take first turn. You very like openly declare that you want to take first turn with that.
True. How predominant was Hathor in this meta in this tournament? You feel compared to other ones? Do you feel it had the least amount of presence out of all the SWCs? I think it might have actually. I think it was more Beast Rider kind of season. No, what are your thoughts here, Lucky?
A lot more aggressive. I feel. I think the only time I think I really saw the Hathor was when Guy was picking it in the final. I don't think it was seen that much more before then. It was picked here and there, but nowhere near as much as you previously see it. It wasn't really contested either. Yeah, it was definitely a lot more aggressive going with the BRs, that's for sure.
How about you, Gattaca? What's your thoughts on it?
I mean, yeah, I think we've seen less Hathor for sure. A lot more aggressive, yeah. Beast Rider is predominant. Beast Riders, and yeah, I don't see why. I don't know why there was less Chongpeng than like in the other tournaments.
Yeah, because he's a really strong unit.
Not sure. I think like I've seen a lot of violent Chongpeng as well in ladder, so I'm pretty sure you can play with him turn 2 as well.
Yeah, I feel like maybe some of the players wanted to play more towards their normal style, and they weren't using it that much already, so they just didn't want to incorporate something totally new. But I mean, at the same time, it's the finals, right? If you can, practice and prepare and incorporate something different, that's gonna give you an edge. That's gonna win you, right? We're talking big bucks. So, so now I know, Tyler, you didn't watch the finals, right? But as a lot of us here saw and know, the meme as well as, I mean, I think it's actually a reality as well that there was a lot of RNG that favored Mr. Chung. Right? Can we all agree on that? There was a lot of RNG. Not just a little bit, but a lot. What are your thoughts on that on the tournament? And what do you have to, say to respond to people that are saying that it's so RNG based?
That's the game, right? That's what we agree to play. We agree to play an RNG based game. That's what we sign up for.
It was his day.
But there was a point in the game where Gaia really could have taken it away when he greeted with the Beast Rider. And instead of doing third skill, he did first skill.
I remember that. I remember that. I called like, okay, he's got this. You know what I mean? He's got a third skill here, and then he just went with an S1. Like, that was ridiculous. That is an unnecessary greed to be, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's a moment we call over here in Australia dropping the Ashes.
Ah, is that it?
Have you guys heard of the Ashes? It's a cricket tournament between Australia and England, and there was a moment where a catch was dropped. It was a very easy catch, and they noted that down as the dropping of the Ashes. So
I've never heard of that.
It was so easy, but yeah, he decided to greed, and it cost him. Yeah. I mean, obviously, all the RNG didn't help out either. But when you don't take the moments that you should, it doesn't help. It kind of makes it lean more one way anyway.
Yeah, I remember the match was pretty nuts. I was calling it because I was like trying to channel my inner chi. Yeah, and let him know, like, hey, it's okay to draft that again. The drafts that he lost to RNG, I think were still fine. Like, you could have actually played that same draft out with the same pick and bans and go in there. And majority of times, Mr. Chung should not have won. But he got so lucky that it just ended up in his favor where he got the right procs at the right times to win. Now, I want to be clear to, say this. I don't want to take away from Mr. Chung's victory because he played absolutely incredible, following him from the cups all the way to the finals. Yeah, he was a very, very smart player and a very strong player, and this just goes to show if you have every single factor going for you, you are just unbeatable, right? You are a smart player, right? You're knowledgeable. You are a player that is drafting good. You're picking and banning very smart, and you're drafting well. Yeah, you're making your right decisions in the matches, right? And you have that monster box, and you got the luck on your side. Literally unbeatable. And as you can see, that's actually what happened, right? Literally unbeatable. So I don't want to take away, and I don't want people to say, oh, he only won because of luck, because he was a very, very strong player, and he played that very, very well. The procs obviously helped him, but it was very, very solid. Very, very solid in my opinion. So congrats to him on winning. What are you guys' thoughts on? Go ahead, Yodakad. Yep, let me know some of your thoughts on the RNG aspect.
I would say the same. Like, this is the game we play. Like, we see it every day. We see bad days, we see good days. 15% happens from revenge or resist or violent. 12%, 22. It doesn't matter. It all happens, and it mattered the most in his tournament. Of course, it's a lot of money on the line, and yeah, he played well. He had a lot of luck, and yeah, that's it. You can't. It's hard to lose. It's hard to win against someone that plays well and has the superior RNG. Like, it's really hard. So yeah, I think he deserved to win.
Yeah.
Other than the RNG, yeah.
That's crazy, yeah. So Tyler, you didn't hear too much, right? But what did you hear? Let's take it from a perspective of someone who didn't actually get to really fully see it and just go purely based on what you know, what you feel. That's a fun perspective. What the community has made you feel about the finals without even watching it. Right? You haven't watched any of it, so.
So from what I gathered from the community explaining the game, keep in mind I haven't watched it at all. The community perspective seems to be that the favor of the RNG button that YKazaimaG talks about is no longer in Korea, but it is instead moved countries. that is the gist of what I'm getting from Twitch chat in the community discussions about the finals.
Well,
now for people who actually wanted to talk about the match and kind of like, I glanced over some people talking about it in my Discord when it was happening, but it seems that Mr. Chung drafted he was very secure with his drafts, and it felt like Charmy got lucky in the semifinals, and I kind of agree with that a little bit. I don't know if you guys agree with that. So I think, like, at the end of the day, Mr. Chung's drafts were pretty solid, and I think he was very confident what he picked and why he picked it.
Yeah, I'd love to see him use his Vela Jewel, his Praha, these units that, you know, were, like, he really stuck to his style. Like, I didn't see anybody go, hey, you know what? I've literally seen him constantly use Vela Jewel, constantly draft this certain way. Let me go ahead and throw a curveball at him. They let him have what he's so comfortable playing. And I think that's a big mistake. That was a big mistake, and none of the other, I think, competitors realized that, hey, let me take him out of his comfort zone, right? Let me just draft something that just goes well against what he has, or maybe take a unit away from him, because they have those units, they have them all runed up, ready to go. You'd be a fool to believe it. They got all those Nat 5s. So it was very interesting. You just let him draft and have everything, no challenge, no problem. So that's what you're gonna get, right? So
yeah, he literally didn't change up his draft almost at all.
Same style, same draft with a couple other, you know.
And he's got good hair.
True.
I mean,
yeah.
True. That's actually the bonus points. Right? He's channeling all the chi. People actually firmly believe that a lot of the luck actually came from his hair. He had some kind of like antenna or something in there he was hiding. So they're actually researching right now to see if, you know, they're gonna stripping away his title because of that. Okay, I'm just kidding. I just made that bullshit up.
So you mentioned earlier talking about Hathor. You're like, do you feel like Hathor is not really as strong in the current meta?
Yeah.
And I do think that she's not as strong in the current meta. Not because Hathor is not a good unit, but because the way the game is played has changed. Artifacts have influenced other supports to be more relevant than Hathor. As strong as Hathor's CC is, and she's really good, like she's still really, really good against certain teams, but she doesn't have the universal threat that other units have anymore. She doesn't have that universal threat that Okeanos has with additional damage by speed. She doesn't have that universal like control and speed threat that Ethna has, right? She just doesn't have that kind of strength anymore because the game is played way faster than it used to be. You can still Ganny Hathor somebody on ladder fairly well. You can control them fully with Ganny Hathor, but that like go-to mentality of a playstyle doesn't exist anymore because it's way easier to kill something really fast.
On top of that as well, how many years of Ganny Hathor we had already, right? What is the what is the strat that some of these players, even C3, G1 players, are used to playing against and drafting against? It's exactly that. So there's more counters to it. There's more responses, and there's a more understanding of that specific play style. So it's just not as strong, right? It's still good. It's still good. It's still strong, right? When drafted and played appropriately. But it just goes to show that these other, you know, strategies have proven to, you know, be more successful, which is nice. I really like it. People always keep saying it's the same meta every year, but every single year I see different, you know, major picks that are brought in. So it's just maybe not an understanding of how the meta is shifting, right? This year was definitely more Beast Riders and Vigor and whatnot, right? Last year was like what more? I think it was last year was like more Daphnis. Was it more Daphnis-ish style? I forget last year's SWC, right? But like more Daphnis kind of gameplay, right? And the years before that as well. So it's always been changing every single year, which is kind of nice. Yeah, very very nice.
The thing is, a lot of these units like gained a lot of strength that they needed to compete in with artifact release. So for example, Beast Riders got enough stat that they can survive and they can deal good damage, right? That extra 3k HP, that extra 200 defense, that extra 200 attack is like super relevant to those units. But when you look at Hathor, it's like if you slap 3,000 more HP or like 200 more defense, it's like it's good, but it doesn't have the same level of impact as it does on these other units that need those stats, right? Like when you look at units with really low base stats, so you look at like if you're using, I don't know, let's say Daphnis, right? You want a Daphnis, you want your Daphnis to be tankier. Suddenly you slap 2 defense artifacts on him, right? 2 plus 200 defense on a low base defense unit is incredible. It's super, super efficient. If you're me and you're using Trevor, you can slap 2 flat HP or 2 flat attack because his base HP and his base attack are so low, right? What I'm trying to say is that like Hathor was strong because she was good with the limitations we had in the game at the time. But now that those limitations have been raised to a higher level, these other units that were like just almost there, they were like just a little bit under the level of like, this is really, really strong with what we currently have in the game. Those units have just excelled and exceeded all expectations.
Yeah.
Something to add to what you're saying, Tyler, around the artifacts, like the substats of artifacts don't actually help Hathor compared to a lot of other units as well. You think about Hathor, right? Like a lot of the times it's pretty easy to get to that 85 accuracy and still get decent tankiness out of her pre-artifacts. And like artifacts, as Tyler was saying, don't really add much more value. But same with like the actual subsets of artifacts. Yes, you can get, you know, skill 2 accuracy, skill 3 accuracy, but that's pretty much all that really helps her, arguably.
And then you just go like speed increasing effect.
Yeah, it just
exactly.
You might as well.
Everything else, like all those other sort of artifact substats really help these other units that have started appearing. The Junos, the Prahas, the damage units, you know, like getting crit damage on those skills as well make a pretty big difference. So
Okeanos,
kind of
Miho.
Okeanos with the additional damage, yeah, for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
I would say the only thing that you gain really from Hathor, you're not going to really slap the accuracy because you don't need it. I mean, it might help a little bit, but maybe like damage reduction, right? Just more stats to get damage reduction, maybe by whatever element to help out to stay tankier, but you don't gain enough of the strong artifact substats that you need because you're never going to use it on her. So, yeah. What's your thoughts, Godacog?
I think on Hathor as well, speed under inability could be nice if something outspeeds you and you even want to cut or something, it could be useful. But yeah, for sure, like oracles are insane, even more. They were really good before, but now you can like build your oracles tankier. You don't even need crit damage to actually deal a lot of damage. So yeah, a lot of units got super buffed by artifacts. Some didn't get affected too much. That's why we see a bit less Hathor. Like we see some units that are more valuable as a pick, you know. As you see Molly and stuff like that, you want to just take that away from the opponent if you can. You want to take the Beast Riders away. You want to take something else, you know.
I agree.
It's not as much of a priority as a pick anymore. It is still, but yeah, it's a bit less. There's different things for sure.
That's fair. I agree. All right, so all in all, I mean, I did say this before about SWC as well. I'll be blunt. It was kind of lame this year, honestly. But the only reason why SWC was lame this year, there's no live events, dude. I'm crying. Like, it just didn't feel like SWC this year, right? Like yeah. You know, obviously for us, because like we attend events and we go to events, but also for the people watching at home, seeing people there live, seeing the event, the interviews, the activations, things like that, all the different cups leading up, it didn't feel as hype. I felt like I was just watching a cup, right? It didn't feel like a finals. It felt like a cup. So that kind of sucked. But hey, Com2uS, I mean, props to them for, you know, still, you know, holding the event and doing the best that they can considering the situation. It sucks, right? Out of their control as well, but I really hope next year things get a little bit better and we get back to the flow of, you know, the excitement and the thrill. Like when it happened and I was sitting there and the finals was happening, I was like, damn, this is the finals, but I didn't feel that magnitude this year at all. I don't know about you guys.
I felt like anyone could have won it this year.
Yeah.
Like there was no clear standout. Like usually in the previous years, you kind of had an idea of the one or two people that you think would just take it cleanly. But this time you could look at each matchup and go, you know what? It could go either way. it's a coin flip for each fight, and so it was pretty exciting in that front. I guess adding the RNG aspect, might have taken it away from the players a bit, but it still was pretty exciting to watch. Being a spectator watching that happen is much better than being the person that actually has to deal with those RNG moments, right? Like, it's actually good to see that other people have to go through that. Not just that. It doesn't happen with our own fights, but I think it was still pretty exciting because it could go either way. Each fight could go either way.
Right. How about you guys?
RNG is what makes it that much more exciting when you're watching a game.
Goes both ways, right?
We do like it and dislike it, but RNG. I think SWC was fun to watch. Like, the matches were fun to watch, actually. Like, not being live and all that, yeah, it's sad. It is what it is, but hopefully next year it's gonna clear up all this, and yeah.
Yeah, we didn't get that additional stuff. Remember all the other events, people would be posting clips and pictures with one another. Everybody was kind of a little active. Some of the fans were able to attend things. I did vlogs as well, right? It felt more real. You had more content added up to it, which really made it feel amazing. How about you, Tyler? What are your thoughts?
So for me, SWC this year it was very different. I have my own personal reasons for a lot of things, but like I wasn't really connected with all of it this year. It doesn't help for me, the lack of the social interaction. I think that the quarantine aspect for it, for me, makes me lose a lot of interest in it. Some of my best Summoner Store experiences are going to conventions or going to these events and like spending time with you and the others and just like having a good time, right? Creating memories and such. In this situation, there's like no memories to be created for me, at least, because it's just, I sit there and I watch it. We watch it with Twitch chat. We talk about it, whether it's like Peanut Gallery or anything. But I guess I've kind of gotten in my own head about it all too. I don't know. I kind of let the YouTube comments get to me. I haven't really like my spark and interest in like SWC and the competitive side of Summoners War has slowly dwindled this year. Maybe not slowly. Maybe it's really hard dwindled. I used to be so hyped about these tournaments all the time. I was super into them. I loved discussing gameplay and like how people would approach their drafts and all that stuff. And I think I'm in a place right now where I just don't care. I honestly just don't care. I'll talk about it if people want to talk about it. I enjoy still giving my insight occasionally, but I think I just don't care because I'm so tired of seeing all these people like, well, he's not G3. He's not competing in SWC. And it's just like all these people that just constantly slander you for like not being at that same level. Yet the majority of these people will never cross C1, C2. And it's just like, I don't understand. I don't understand why it's like that. But I've kind of taken my stance away from it. SWC for me has become, in this year, it was more of something that I want to forget and less of something that I was interested in. I do look forward to next year. Hopefully next year will bring something fresh to the game, as well as being able to see everybody again and create those memories. But this year to me is kind of a throwaway for SWC. Not to downplay the accomplishments of anyone who played in the year. I think everybody did great. I think everybody honestly did a lot of really good work for everything. And I am proud of all my friends and all the people that I had the opportunity to interact with going forward. But for me personally, it's just not something I care about.
Thinks he has friends,
Yeah.
Pepe laugh. I'm kidding, dude. That's awesome. I appreciate your perspective insight. You definitely go a little deeper with those things as well. So thanks for sharing. Like, seriously. And Summoners War has come a long way, man. Not just the game, but like the interactions, the memories, and the people that we've gotten to meet throughout all the years has been amazing. So I do hope for more of that. That's what I hope more than anything. Like, I'm gonna keep it real, right? The tournaments and everything, like Tyler said as well. It's really whatever. It's those things that really make it. So appreciate that, man. That's good. Good perspective. All right, let's go ahead and hop into topic number 2. Topic number 2 here is upcoming update. All right. Now, I wasn't able to kind of cover it all, so I'll let Tyler start it here. All right, give me the rundown. Give everybody the rundown who doesn't know as well. What's the update that's coming? All right, what are the good changes?
Auto repeat raids. You can do R5 auto repeat now.
Yay!
I can finally have grinds again. We can auto BJR5 poggers. So what's going to happen is in the Rift Raid menu, you can go in and create a room, and basically you invite people to that room so that you guys can auto repeat together. It's going to be really nice. I'm hoping that we get some more quality of life changes to it. But like I've been saying for most of this year with the updates, I think it's a very good first draft. We can also do solo raids now, which is kind of cool. So if you're interested in creating like slower raid teams, you want to do solo raids, totally viable. Great opportunity to have more units built in the game as well. The most interesting part for me actually was a little caveat they put at the bottom of the notice that I think a lot of people missed. It said, we are looking to create a feature in the future so that you may use grinds while raiding. Because in the current iteration of it, it says that you are able, that you are not able to do anything else while you're auto-repeating raid, right?
Right. So so what? It will just decrease like the amount of stuff you have in your storage if you can start using it.
No. Okay. Well, right now, from my understanding of the current iteration, if you're doing auto repeat raids, you literally can't do anything else.
So this one's more locked than the other one that allows you to kind of do some other things, right?
Yeah. Okay, so maybe I misinterpreted the solo raid thing, but I thought you could have 2 additional placements.
It says you can have up to 2 placements.
Up to 2 placements.
Up
okay.
to 2 placements.
Is that what they changed when they took the notice down the first time?
I'm not sure.
Because I read the notice when it first came out. Like when it first came out, and then they took it down like 3 minutes later. But the very first notice, I'm pretty sure, said that you could have 2 additional placements.
Yeah, I only saw the version of it, so I didn't see the actual initial upload. But yeah, the new one just says.
So what happened was it got initially uploaded. We had a chance to like quickly read through it, and then they took it down immediately. And I don't know what they changed, but maybe that was it. Maybe they actually like didn't mean to say that. So it is possible. I may have made a mistake with that, guy. So I'm sorry if that's misinformation. But yeah, like I was saying with the added thing, I want us to be able to do other things while we're doing raids. Like being able to go through your grinds and gems while you're raiding is pretty sick. Right? Like we can go through our runes right now while we do that. I also think that there is a limitation to that because you are doing co-op content, so it might be a little bit harder.
But I think
that comes out.
I think it might be a little bit different because like when you're doing a normal dungeon, right? That normal dungeon is like it's running on your in your game. I'm not a tech person, but that's what I think, right? In your game, and it allows you to do other stuff, and it's like finishing the run every time. But this one, you're kind of interacting with 2 other people, so I don't know if that changes the way the game is and the functioning and what is required to be on your screen, because now you have things that are supposed to be, you know, refreshing after every run for 3 people at the same time while you're doing things on your account that need to be refreshed as well, right? Because it has to ping to the server and save, right? Like you're changing a rune or you're changing a grind, it has to ping it to the server to save that's what happened, right? It has to process that. So I'm not sure if that's one of the reasons for it. I'm not a tech guy, but do you know what I'm saying? Where it's different than the normal dungeon, right? It incorporates other people inside. So they should be able to do it though, I feel. It's just a matter of when and how.
So raids are similar. So what happens in a regular dungeon is it pings to the server that you start the dungeon, and then it disconnects you, and you run it client-sided.
Right. That's what.
Yeah,
exactly.
And at the end of the run, it pings back to the server that you completed the run, which is why people could cheat in their dungeon runs for so long, because it became client-sided for a moment. I think the way it works for raids is that it's a ping, and then there's an instance basing, and then there's a timer where it's like if you've been disconnected from the instance for too long, it kicks you. Right. Which is why, like, if you like tab out of your phone while you're doing raids and tab back in, sometimes you're still in the raid, but sometimes it's like disconnected from your party. Right.
That makes more sense.
Yeah, that's fine.
So I think there is like a grace period, but I think that the reason that we're unable to like do that other rune stuff is because it's instance based. I don't think that they want us to be able to like, I don't know. Maybe it's just really difficult to code. I don't know too much about because game development or such.
I feel like it's in their favor to always because they're gonna do these repeat battle systems, right? It's always gonna be in their favor to allow the players to do something, right? Because they said, right, they want to make a new, you know, repeat battle system that's different from out there, and they made something you can do and have other things going on at the same time. You can do runes and stuff like that right now in your other dungeons, and they like that because, you know, user, you know, what is that, integration and user screen time is better than, you know, people just putting on the side and forgetting about it for 15 minutes. It's just way better. So it's in their favor to make something that allows players to do something while this, you know, BJ5 is going on. I just wonder what it will be and what the limitations will be for something like that. So, all right. So that's the big change. I mean, that's exciting. I know a lot of people were pretty hyped on that. Was there anything else? And did you also have any suggestions that we could do and we could add in? Maybe we can talk about suggestions of things that you think would be reasonable to have us be able to do while these raids are going on, then can I add that in?
I think just in general, I think the next step they can start doing with the auto function or the repeat battle function is by adding filters, so you can start auto selling certain items as they come through. Like, I think the biggest frustrating factor right now is going through and tidying up what runes pop up when you, let's say for example, if you're leveling up fodder and farming and auto farming there, you have to go through each individual rune and sell. It'd be good to be able to just set like a filter to automatically sell any 5-star runes. Because I think even at like maybe if you're farming B10, B11, B10, B11, for example, it'd be good to be able to filter out all the 5-star runes and keep only 6 stars. So I think having filters would be a good start moving forward. Yeah.
Yeah, great idea, man. Great idea. You could tag like sell all blue runes and it sells everything is blue.
That would be cool. So this is a suggestion for most of the other auto functions, right? Like dragons and stuff like that. Okay, I like that. That is a function that we do see in today's sponsor, which is sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends. Yeah, thank you so much for sponsoring today's pod. Okay, they're not sponsoring the podcast, but I always meme. Raid Shadow Legends does have a feature like that, which is interesting. They have actually a pretty extensive auto battler system, and it does allow you to stop when your units are a certain level, as well as sell artifacts, which in that game is runes, that are a certain quality. So they do have those settings, so we know those exist, and I think that would be nice. So we don't have to kind of go back and sell it, right? It will auto sell if we want to sell blues, but I don't know how extensive that would be, right? Because a lot of players still do keep their blues. So how usable will that filter be? We're gonna have to think of maybe some more detailed filters then if they're gonna do something like that. Because I'm the only time this is for blues, right? Purples and everything, you're gonna keep it. There's no way you're ever gonna sell them. You're always gonna keep them to take a look at them at the very least. So
I just auto sell everything. My runes suck anyways. It's fine. Sell everything.
So
I only keep legend runes with 99% perfect stats without grinds.
only speed. Yeah, speed or trash. Yeah.
I only keep runes with speed, nothing else. No speed,
even
trash.
Purple. Yeah, true. Even purple, if it doesn't have speed, I don't really keep it. Most of the
I'm totally lying about that. I'll roll anything that can roll 32 HP plus.
Yeah, I really fish on runes as well, but it's a gauge on what set
runes on the
well.
right set do you have that are like over 30% of a single stat, like HP or defense? Realistically, how many on a main set do you have of that?
A lot, because that's all I get. Pepe hands.
You don't even farm. What are you talking about?
I'm farming right now. What the fuck do you mean? I play the game, man. Bro, what are you talking about?
No, but like realistically, people are always like, no speed, I gotta sell it. It's like, okay, I guess if you really want to do that, go ahead. But like, my Skogul has like 38 to 42% HP on his 135 with like gem speed, because I kept the runes with no speed that could triple or quad roll HP. But it's like I can do the same thing with my Harmonia, and if I use a speed slot too, that unit ends up being like 120 something speed, like plus 120 speed. If I don't use a speed slot too, it's still plus 100 speed. Like those units are fast enough for 90% of players or more. They're not fast enough for like RTA maybe, but they're fast enough for literally everything else in the game. Siege, Guild Wars, all your PvE content, it's fast enough. This mindset of like, if it doesn't have speed, it's useless, just throws me for a fucking loop every single time.
Yeah.
And even for like the argument of like, well, we have B12s, everything's a 6-star now. It's like, yeah, how many really good speed slot to Swift, Violent, Will, Despair runes do you have? How many do you have that are better than a max blue? Because as someone who's reapped a lot of them, I don't have that many that are that much better than like a max blue. Because like having 24 HP, 8 defense, and like an accuracy line on a violent slot too is like pretty nice. Because you grind that up, it's 31 and 15, right? Not that many people have that many runes that have the speed slot too, 31, 15, and accuracy gem, and something else.
Yeah.
I mean, it's true, but I guess it still depends on the player. What someone else needs or what someone else wants. That's why a bit more detailed filtering would probably be good.
Yeah,
I think my issue is that people value quality and don't understand what depth is. Like we understand depth because we've been playing forever, right? We all have so much of it because upgrades didn't come for a long time. But now that upgrades, like those earlier upgrades come by so fast, I think a lot of people forget that depth is important, right? If you want to build 10 siege offenses of, I know this is completely arbitrary, but if you want 10 siege offenses of all violent units, that means you're going to need 60 violent, like you need 180 violent runes, right? Well, minus the 2, but you get the point. You need like that many violent runes, which means you need more of these 246s, even if they're blue quality. Sometimes you just need something that works, right? And that's why, for the most part, most players have skimped out the stats on their speed slot 2s because they're like, this is 42 speed, the rest of the stats are just filler.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know, on a side note here, I mean, all those years that we played at the beginning, it feels so bad. Like now you can farm for like a couple months, and it literally it literally is farming that we did back in the day for like before reapps, even before anything else, and just the way we handled runes back then. That's like multiple years of farming in just like a couple months. It's crazy.
It's like a week. It's like a week of farming now is like probably 2 months back then.
Yeah.
Because of auto farm. If you're burning like, I don't know, 500 to 1,000 crystals a day at this rate versus, I mean, going back a few years, you know, dungeon runs were about the 1 minute mark anyway. So it's like Tricari's making us run at 40 seconds, getting better runes, blowing through so many crystals because of auto farm. Just insane. Yeah. And 4-star runes used to exist in B10 as well. So imagine that.
Yeah, that's true. All right. Anything else you guys want to add to the changes that have occurred so far?
Bless
I mean,
you, by the way. Sorry,
what's that?
What's
that?
Bless you.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. But yeah, I think the changes were pretty solid. We'll see what happens. I mean, people still cry though, but I mean, Com2uS is still giving us, which is good, which is great. They're improving the game, making it, you know, enjoyable for everybody. But I'm gonna ask you guys this: do you feel like everybody wants auto everything? Like they don't even like. They want auto TOA, they want auto this, they want more auto, they want 20 times, they want like so many different things. You know, it's kind of like,
Auto RTA.
And then they want more crystals.
Yeah, it's like soon they're gonna ask, is there a program that can just auto turn on and I just never have to play? I don't know, dude. Like, you know, there comes a time. I think the repeat battle system so far is pretty solid, right? Makes it a lot easier, a lot enjoyable. If they add more to it, so be it. But everything else right now that is not repeat battle system, I wouldn't be upset if they didn't add repeat battle system, so I'm in a good spot. I think it's time to suggest and take those resources to suggest changes to other things into the game, right? And improve other areas of the game as well, because I think that's in a solid spot already. But go ahead, Tyler.
I want one thing. Just one small thing. One small thing. When I'm in my rune manager, I want a little icon in the top right corner that goes, hey, your auto repeat's done. Just like a little like red exclamation mark when it finishes or something, so I can like
doesn't it
be
buzz?
more efficient.
Doesn't it buzz?
Well, it does. It does if you use a phone. Doesn't if you use a tablet.
Wait, really?
The tablet has no vibration buzzer in it.
I mean, you're talking about when you're in rune management, right?
If I'm in rune management or any page where I don't see chat, then I would really like for
Isn't there a chat? Like, doesn't it pop up, or you get a click on the chat?
You have to click.
For you to see it. You gotta click on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I don't even see a chat in this rune manager at all.
Wait, what?
Unless you hit on power up on a rune or something, then it shows up, right? Yeah.
Oh, it doesn't show. Okay.
And now it's there. Now it's there. But like when I'm looking through my runes, why isn't the chat button there?
Because you have to turn it on.
No,
you have to turn it on. It's in the 4-watt setting. It's in that.
It's not a user error, right?
It's in the 4-watt setting. It's to turn it on. To turn it up. You know. Anyways, moving on to the next topic here. Topic number 3. Topic number 3 is Summoners War Lost Centuria is coming. Have you played? What are your thoughts? It's currently in closed beta, which means none of this stuff is going to carry through. It's currently in a state where people can try out the game, people can check it out, right? See how it is. A lot of people have checked it out. Do you like? Do you not like? Let's talk about it here from what you've seen so far. I have personally not been able to play it, but I've been watching a lot of other people and seeing some videos on it as well. So, go ahead.
I need a tablet to play this game on. My phone is too old. No, it's not on iOS devices, so I literally just can't play it. And there's no for the closed beta it has to be on Android, and there's no emulators allowed for it either because Com2uS rules.
Yeah.
But it's a closed beta, so I mean it's understandable, you know what I mean? Limitations. I think the next one would probably be like an open beta or something, and that would maybe be with like all devices. I don't know. Something like that. But Katakag and Lucky and Tyler, I mean, have you seen
I like
it,
the
though?
concept of the game. I played a lot of Clash Royale. I enjoyed the game.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think the concept's nice. I just, as you guys, I use an iPad, so I can't play the game. I can play it on my personal phone, but I am going to be checking it out a little bit later on this week. I've just been pretty flat out to be able to
Same.
try it since launch. But I've seen a lot of streamers playing it. It's been it's interesting. I don't know the graphics. I mean, when it comes to Summoners War and graphics, I kind of always sit on the fence because a lot of people have different views on Summoners War and the graphics of Summoners War. I just think the graphics of Lost Centuria could have been a little bit better, personally. But again, it's that feel of Summoners War, right? So I don't know if that's how they're just going for that's how they want the feel to be.
I hope it gets polished a little
right?
bit.
Like the style's a little bit older, right? I feel like the graphics and whatnot. But
style does look a lot.
I've noticed in games and like the closed betas and stuff, everything is not quite exactly what it's gonna be until release. So I like Tyler says, I hope it does, get fine-tuned a little bit more. How about you, Gotacog?
Yeah, I haven't played it either. I just saw it on other streams, and yeah, I never actually got into Clash, and I've seen it. It looks a bit like it has some elements of Skylanders as well. The card collecting and all that, like the upgrading. It's the same as Clash, right? That's the concept of collecting cards to level up the unit. Actually, the play style, I don't know. It's I'm not sure. I think I'm gonna have more to say about that when I actually play it. But yeah.
I'll be honest, I have one gripe with it. I have one strong gripe with the game. And it's totally superficial, and I probably shouldn't hate it for this reason, but I hate that it looks like Raid Shadow Legends. Because to me, when I look at the game, like the way the game looks and the way I see like the field in the game, it looks and reminds me of like the art style and the age of Raid Shadow Legends, and I hate that so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't played Raid either.
Some people do like that style. Like me personally, on the side, I do like the Raid style because it reminds me of World of Warcraft, and I did play a lot of that, so I kind of like it. But in terms of the style that Lost Centuria has, I wasn't the biggest of fans, to be honest. But we'll see as more of the gameplay comes in, because that can definitely compensate it more. And let's see if it gets better once it gets the actual release. I actually personally like Chronicles though, which they announced is gonna be in 2021. The graphics on that look a lot cleaner and a lot better.
It's the MMO, right?
Right, and I feel like I wonder if it's just because they're trying to do a certain style of art for different games that they have, right? I feel like they're piecing together Summoners War right now. They've always wanted to do kind of like the lore and the story of everything, so I feel like they're starting to like give us more of that. So it's kind of cool that we're learning a little bit more of these things of Summoners War. So
do we know when Chronicles is dropping?
2021, which should be I expect end of the year, to be honest, at this rate.
So I know this is really far in advance, but when it drops, do you guys want to do like a hard marathon where we just like between all of the streamers, or like whoever wants to join it, we just like stream for like a week straight?
That'd be cool. That'd be cool if we can get like a small like sponsorship campaign from them as well.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of cool.
We can do some cool stuff.
Right, like they have Summoners War streamers come and they support the channels a little bit to try out the game and check it out. And then after that, we continue to play after as well, off sponsor, right? That would be pretty.
So like a relay event.
That'd be nice.
Yeah. So I was thinking about this, like when new games drop and stuff, like especially since Com2uS wants to drop new games, it's like we could do these like crazy marathons with a bunch, because like a lot of us stream full time, right? So like we can actually do that. We could do like you stream 5 hours, next person stream 5 hours. You're just like host into each other repeatedly and stuff. Like that would be. I think it'd be really cool. I don't know. It was just a thought. It was just a thought. I also think it'd be cool if we did a charity event like that too.
I like that.
3-day charity event weekend.
We could. I know some people. Let's link up and we can probably set something up like that. I mean, that's gonna be in the future though, but we can definitely figure it out. Maybe we could do it for Centuria as well. So maybe they'll do some campaigns. We'll try it out and we can do something with it.
Sounds like a good idea.
I'm down with this as well. Like Com2uS, like I know the word sponsored means you're gonna have to pay all of us to do it, but maybe we can talk and pick select content creators to do this, and I think the content creators would agree that we take your sponsorship and we do a charity with it, right? That would be kind of cool. So Com2uS, donates X amount, but we get pulled in to be sponsored to play the game, and we don't get paid, but all the money in our funds we can get, we get noted down for contributing for this charity or whatnot. That would be kind of cool. I've never seen people do a campaign like that. Like do a campaign where the streamers agree to play a game, no matter how good or bad our gamer is, just to play a game and have that money, that sponsor money, be used for charity. I think that'd be awesome. Could be something new. I'd be down.
Definitely.
I'd definitely be down.
Pioneer, fun idea.
Yeah, I mean that'd be cool. That'd be really cool. All right, moving on to topic number 4. Open discussion. I got some time left. Obviously, you know, clean, simple podcast. Went over a lot of great things, very important things today. But did you have any topics or open things that you guys wanted to kind of bring up and talk about here? Right, feel free to do so, and let's chat about it.
When's my new 2As? I'm getting bored.
Yes.
I hopefully announce them. Hopefully we're getting an announcement in a week. That's what I would hope.
Oh,
because I really
the leaks.
What's the leaks?
Yeah,
Tell me.
I did.
Wait, is this good or bad? Because I didn't get the leaks.
Tell them about it.
Yeah, you continue, Tyler. I just wanted to say that.
So Faraz says it's a fake leak.
Some people were leaking because a couple. I think it was like a couple months ago.
Give me a second here. Faraz, are you out of class already? You want to join in for the ending here with open discussion, Faraz? Get you in here, bro. You want to join in? Faraz, let me know. Pog, you want to join in? Yes. All right, I'll get you in for the ending, man. Get you in for the ending. It's just because I don't like you that much, so I want to let you only in for like 15 minutes. Kappa. No,
Are you excited for your tournament?
Yeah, I'm excited for that tournament tomorrow. I'll talk about it in a second. For tomorrow, should be pretty lit.
Hello.
There we go. Oops.
Hello.
Hello.
Is this
Hello.
Yeah, let me adjust.
Oh, you're echoing.
Oh, there we go. Give me 2 seconds.
Yeah, no, you got time because I have to adjust the size of everything.
That echo though.
Give me 2 seconds. I'm trying to remember how to do this. How was it now?
Test. We're good?
Test.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, we're good.
What are we talking about again?
Talk about how much Nick sucks.
Oh yeah, he's garbage.
It's kind of open discussion, but right now we're talking about the some kind of leaks and whatnot. What's real, what's fake? Okay, give me the rundown what the leak was, and after that, how it was fake. Right, I'm just curious. I want to know.
Because I actually, before podcast, right after class ended, I went, where's that 2A update? So somebody linked something in my Discord. I opened it, and took me to Reddit. I actually have the link kind of handy if you want it, but it just ended up being fake. Somebody posted just like screenshots of a very blurry Grim Reaper.
You know what I think it was? I actually got debated. By the Summoners War Finals in like the video that they had. They showed Lost Centuria or Chronicles or something, and it had the Grim Reaper in there. And it was like the Grim Reaper looked different, and I thought it was a 2A Grim Reaper. And then it was like dun dun dun. It said Chronicles, and I was like, fuck. I got debated. Like I was like, oh, 2As, we're seeing it. This is it. I got debated live. It was ridiculous. So maybe it was that. Maybe it was an image of that Grim Reaper, because that looked like a 2A Grim Reaper actually, in my opinion.
Missed him. Honestly, they should have, like, I think right after SWC, let's say the day after, we should have gotten news about 2A by now, man. Because I've been telling people, like, their Com2uS is waiting to like release certain things. Because we had the collaboration, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they want to release new stuff while that's going on. And then after that, we had SWC. I'm like, okay, well, their timing was garbage, but at least immediately after SWC, we should see something. We didn't see anything. So I think that's pretty disappointing because they had all that time between collab, they were limited, right? What they're going to release. And then SWC say, okay, we're not going to release something very new because they already limited us from using the collab units. Right. So I don't know why we don't immediately we should have some kind of news. Like what's going on right now that's stopping us from seeing at least the news of a 2A.
Yeah, because we've seen in the past, right? The 2As literally can shape the meta. They can change up everything, right? Vigor, just introduction of it, right? I mean, in the past, it was like Minas, the handling the Daphneses, right? Mihos, like stuff like that. Lucia, right? These are strong units, and it's kind of exciting as a player that, you know, is doing RTAs or doing things PvP to see that change in meta, see that new unit, have some fun with a unit like that. So, I mean, how long has it been since the last 2A? Do you guys know?
7 months?
They said 4 months, dude. Supposed to be at least every other 4 months.
Okay, but the collab came out, so I think I would consider that to be understandable. We got a lot of updates, though.
Okay, true.
We did get a lot of stuff, so it's not so bad. It's like we got the shift update, and then we got the collaboration, and now we have SWC. Hopefully, it comes out around Christmas or before Christmas.
Yeah, true. That's very true.
I just feel like we've been saying it for a long time that it's dropping. It's gonna drop this month. It's gonna drop this month. And then month passes and so on. It's
you still remember? Oh,
we're
it's
in
October
now. We're running out of month for the year.
October. It's Halloween. You know, here it is. Halloween.
Yeah, exactly.
Here it is.
But yeah, they did make a promise as well. That's right. Didn't they make a promise that 2As were going to be every 4 months?
That was the promise. That was the promise. But, I'm not going to hold it against them because this year was probably one of the biggest years for Summoners War stuff. Like, I'm just in a nutshell. Summoners War stuff. It was kind of nuts. So I'm just hoping that next year they can do, what they're kind of doing this year. I mean, I don't know if they'll be able to match it, but, keep up this hype is really, really good because the game's doing well.
Also, let's not forget that COVID, kind of hinders things in the world.
It has. It definitely has. It's hindered a lot of
It has hindered a lot of things. I am surprised we've gotten so much considering everything.
True. That's very, very true. All right, so Faraz, let me ask you, what's your thoughts on Lost Centuria? What's your thoughts on the upcoming update? And what's your thoughts on SWC Finals? Let's hear everything. You did get a little nutshell on all of those because you didn't get a chance.
No, I caught the Centuria part. I was talking yesterday. You didn't see my comments. I actually like it a lot. I'm a big fan of it.
Really?
And yeah, I don't mind the graphics at all. I think it looks pretty good.
Okay.
Unless you want I don't know if you're looking like hentai style. I don't know what you guys want, but I think it's great as it is.
Wait, what's hentai style? What is that?
I don't even know anime. I'm trying to.
I think you meant to say anime.
Did you just?
No, I said hentai.
This is the ultimate boomer statement. Y'all kids in your hentai looking art games.
Okay, my kids don't know what I am.
I love the hentai art style. I mean anime. Oh my god, Faraz.
Same thing. Oh, whatever.
It is not the same thing. It is not the same thing.
It's pretty good. Oh, for me, I actually like it. If you know how to time it.
You're good, dude. No worries. We're just fucking with you, if anything. So you like the art style, the graphics. How about the gameplay? Like, it's good?
Well, I have one of the newer phones right now, so maybe that's why I put everything on full. It does keep my phone pretty hot, though. Even when I lowered I want to try it out. You know how in Summoners War, if you want to go not power saving mode, reduce quality, you have to restart your phone. In Centuria, you don't have to, but you can immediately changes. It's a small thing, but I like it. But I still notice that my phone is pretty hot, but it is beta, right? Gameplay, once you adjust yourself to it, it's pretty fun. I think there's going to be a mana issue if they're going to keep it as it is, though, because mana is used, nobody's upping runes. Nobody is, well, not really. What else? When you want to power up a unit or through cards, however you want to word it, it takes a lot of mana, especially when you want to just to level 9 or 10. I don't know what the cap is yet, but it's pretty expensive mana-wise. It's unlimited RTA pretty much. There's nothing to farm. What else do you guys want to know? I don't know. Either way, I'm having fun. It's not something you log.
Can you spend money in the beta?
No, you can't.
But can you get packs and stuff?
Good.
Like you can buy a couple things.
So you can roll it's 3,000 crystals to get I think it's 7 units or 8 units from their premium pack. But I don't really see
they give you some currency for free then just to kind of play and try some stuff out. Is that it?
Yeah, but you get it through if you summon a brand new unit, you get 50 crystals. If you do certain dailies, I think it's a total of 150, 200 crystals. You complete certain things. It is a bit slower pace though. I think they should speed up the pace. Scenario, we have scenario in Summoners War. I think it was once you finish it unlocks right away, correct?
Right.
Right. You have to reach a certain level to unlock a scenario in Centuria. And it's slow leveling if you don't whale on packs. Like somebody who whales in this game, they're going to shoot right up. You can be a top competitor with maybe $100.
That's normal mobile game.
That's relative. That's relative to how much other people spend, right?
Yeah, it's going to be normal. Yeah. The hard part, I think an issue that wasn't discussed here is that people are going to feel like it's going to be pay to win because they're going to compare it to Summoners War. But there's a ton of other mobile games out there that you can compare to that will just feel very pay to win compared to Summoners War. So it's going to be a tough one. That's going to be a small hurdle that they're going to have to overcome because not every game can start the way that Summoners War is right now. You know what I mean? There needs to be a basis and they need to have enough revenue to kind of recoup costs and whatnot for everything set up. Right? But that's on the business logistical side, right? But that's just being reasonable and understanding of that. But we'll see how they do, right? I think what's more important to me is that if they release the game well, good content, and a lot of updates with devs that are responsive, then it'll be okay, right? To make changes that are good. But yeah, I can definitely see some whaling aspects in there. That'll be a topic for sure. Go ahead, Tyler.
I think this will be a game that's just it's fun. It'll be fun. I think for a lot of people, especially a lot of Summoners War players, it won't be a game that's I want to be hardcore the best. I don't want to be the Pokemon master of Centuria. I think it's going to be like, this game is probably aimed towards people who want to play a game like that, but don't want to play Summoners War. You know what I mean? Like,
it's for PvP lovers.
When we talk about like being a Summoners War player, right? We're so instilled in the concept of like playing a turn-based gacha game where we're gear farming, right? But the expansion of the Summoners War universe is it is the creation of including different types of games, right? Those games are literally not designed for us as players. They're not designed for like the Summoners War players. It's like, if you're a Summoners War player and you like that kind of stuff, awesome, come join us. Those games are designed to expand the universe so that other types of like games and other types of gamers want to be a part of the Summoners War universe, right? That's why they're creating this like Clash Royale style like real-time strategy kind of game. That's why they're creating an MMORPG. That's why they're going to create like a TCG game probably. Like they're creating all these things because they need to expand the universe outside of this turn-based gacha that we have. So like, we have our opinions on the game obviously because we play Summoners War, we understand the world, all that stuff, we like it. But I think the real defining factor of this game is going to be those people who played a lot of Clash Royale, like Clash with Ash, for example. Like if he really likes Centuria, the game could take off, right? If there are those really big YouTubers or streamers that like that dominate their category of this style of game, that like this game, it's gonna pop off. It's gonna pop off so hard.
True.
But I think I do think it's really important to go back to what you said when you said, responsive devs, they need to make a solid first iteration of their game and all that stuff. Like those are going to be really important.
Yeah, I hope they see and they realize that from other games and other games that have had downfalls in the past, right? Learn from that and see what is the most important thing. They're gonna get hate no matter what. They're gonna get a lot of people crying about things, but I would say put that all aside and focus on the actual game and responding and being able to watch what the community is saying and being able to respond with updates for that particular game. And I think that game's got a good chance. So we'll definitely see. Are there any new characters in that game yet, or is it all everything we know? There's nothing new, right? Have you guys seen anything that's been new in there except for maybe monsters that are slightly new?
I don't think there's anything.
There was one, I think, but it just could be a unit name that I don't remember. But really, all of them are, you recognize it pretty quick, except just one. At least it could have just passed me. Like I could remember if it was related to anyone, but nothing new. Then it's probably just me. I couldn't remember it. But yeah, it's
okay. So nothing new.
I've never played Clash. I played Raid Shadow Legends. I don't think it looks too much like Raid, but I don't know. But
I'm glad you like it though. I'm glad you like it though, because you know what that means is that since you do like it, you'll dive more into it. And I know you play games, right? So you'll be able to analyze and pull out the pros and cons. So that's great. That you really like it, Fraz. Like you can literally say what's good, what's bad. Another person I saw trying it out was Fwa. I definitely got to bring Fwa in here to give us his opinion. He plays a lot of mobile games. He has a lot of opinions on things. Doesn't matter how good or bad it is. I want to hear about it, right? What you like, what you don't from these other players, because it's interesting to get into your minds and see what people like and what people don't like. Everybody has different tastes. Everybody's craving something different from a game. So it should be fun. Any other things you guys want to bring up to the open discussion here? Go ahead. No? Are you playing it right now, Perez? Or are you playing Summoners War?
No, I got Centuria open actually.
Really? Okay, yeah.
I guess, I don't know, Siege Tournament maybe?
Okay, you can quickly go over that.
Siege Tournament.
Yeah, so one of the
I
topics
feel like we can talk about Siege Tournament next week too, right? Because it's 2 weeks long?
True. We can bring it up next week. But let's bring up one topic of the Siege Tournament, which is some people are saying, right? That this time Siege Tournament is different where they're doing it for a longer period of time and people are out of Siege for a longer period of time, meaning that there's less resources that they're getting, especially for the free-to-plays. What are your thoughts on that, Ryan? How Com2uS can compensate that, or should it just be chalked off as, hey, it is what it is?
They're giving out more now compared to previous. So before, the Siege Tournament used to be 1 week and used to be 5 rounds in the 1 week. What they're doing this time is now it's across 2 weeks. There'll be 2 rounds this week and 3 rounds next week. And what they're also introducing, last season, everyone that wasn't in the tournament only got 1 siege in that week. What they're doing this time is everyone's still getting a siege, but on day 2 of the normal schedule. So if sieges are Monday, Tuesday, Monday's the tournament fight. Tuesday is everyone else that's not in the tournament. will be fighting on that.
Right,
side.
the people I'm talking
normies
about.
like us have siege today.
Yeah, I'm talking about
Yeah.
the people that are not in the siege tournament. So, do those people get less or more now with
They
that?
get more now compared to last season. Last season in the tournament time, they only got 1 siege.
Right, but
Now
one
they're
siege was a
effectively
decline,
getting-
right? One siege is considered less than what they usually
That was
were.
last time. Now they're getting 4 sieges. So they're getting the same amount of sieges people in the tournament would be getting, except for like the finalists who would get a 5th siege.
So it's better this season than last season. But is this better than normal scheduling siege, not even tournament? Like, are they getting comparable resources? That's what they're wondering, right? Because usually, so it should be more, right? Because there were people complaining about it and telling me about it, and I was like, I didn't get to read it yet. That's why what the changes were in that particular aspect for non-competitors.
They're still getting the same rewards because they're doing the same number of sieges effectively. So if you fall out of the tournament, let's say if you lost round 1, when the tournament's happening for round 2, you'll be in the special fights for day 2 of that fight. So if you're in the tournament, you're on day 1 of normal siege schedule. But day 2 is now for everyone that's not in the tournament. But it's just a 1-day siege. That's all it is.
I see. Okay. So there's not a lot of differences there. So it's better. That's good. Okay, so I'll make sure to kind of reiterate that to them because I wasn't able to see that as well. Yeah, Obey Trey, we got to bring you on for a siege discussion sometime, man. I always see
Except for top 4s, you get 2 sieges off. Yeah.
True, very true.
Gotta get past the first round immediately.
See, some people in chat, like Lord Reva says, the new setup is terrible. The resources are not comparable. Less teams. Is this true? Is it not? Right?
What do you mean by less teams, though? Like, that's, I don't know. To me, I don't understand what that's supposed to mean.
I just chose a random person, but I've heard a couple other people as well have said that they feel it's going to be less resources. And maybe it's just a misunderstanding, right? Because people are just wondering, right? I have normal siege. I know I get this much resource a week. With this tournament, I'm not even in it. Why should I get punished for less resources? But in reality, they're getting more resources or the same. That's what we have to make clear for them.
So what difference is it if it's 1v1 versus 1v1v1? Like, what difference is it if there's a third guild? Are you like, is the fear that like one guild is just going to obliterate the other one? And my response to that is obviously going to be, well, that happens anyways in Siege.
Pretty much.
I'm not sure like how a 1v1 versus a 1v1v1 makes that much of a difference. Like, if you traditionally look at any level of Siege, there's always going to be one guild that's notably stronger than the other two, and it's very, very rare that you have 3 even guilds that have 3 even levels of strategy as well.
Maybe it's even better to have 1v1 because 1v1v1 you can get ganged up on, right? And 1v1 you have the same chance to win. If you're better, you're gonna win. If you're not, you're gonna lose, you know?
It's about the ability for some players to not be able to attack. You have less targets to hit potentially. So the theory behind that is that the Siege tournament is supposed to match you up with a guild that is more closely related to your rank and your ability. Now, this applies more at higher ranks. Like, once you push, I would say the top of G1 is where you'll find guilds that are equal in strength. Below that, it's a lot harder to find it because, you know, you have some players who are really, really strong and some who aren't super strong. But the system itself is designed to be more fair in that sense as well. Even if you have less targets to potentially hit, the mitigation of that comes from the fact that towers rebuild twice as fast. So for every guild that every tower you have less that you can hit, the tower rebuilds faster, which means you can take it faster, you can break it down faster.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah. The whole idea of the Siege is that it's an accelerated variation of the Siege, and the amount of open towers off the bat in comparison, I believe, is 5 instead of 6. So technically it is a little bit less, but not a significant amount less.
I think some people also complain, like for me, because I'm on EU server, my timing, unless I'm off on that day, I have a very hard time getting my attacks in. And yesterday I had an exam, so by the time it was noon, so Siege has already been going for 8 hours. I was able to get in 1 attack, and didn't get any rewards for that Siege. We already won it and everything; it's already been done. So maybe people are complaining about time or being able to blow in their attacks because it does finish faster, the 1v1. Maybe that's what they're talking about. Like me, like I didn't get any rewards at all. I got a box with a blue rune in it, but I didn't get the crystals or the guild points. So maybe that's what they're referring to. Maybe.
I mean, you can make that argument normally, right? Like normally you theoretically wouldn't be able to make siege. You need one of the 2 days off. I don't feel like that is necessarily a strong argument for it.
This could be like on a regular siege day. Usually the 12 hours, we don't finish before that 12 hours, so I can blow in my attacks. Day 2, I never touch it because it's from 4 a.m. till like maybe 7 a.m.
It also doesn't help for you because you live in North America, but you play on EU server, so your time zone difference is a little bit skewed for this discussion.
I'm not the only one though. That's the thing. But I don't know what other people are. Like maybe some people work night shift in whatever wherever they live. So even if they're on EU server, they work night shift, they miss siege. So maybe their complaints that because usually we would have 12 hours to blow in at least some attacks to get contribution. The 1v1, you only get 8 hours, roughly. Well, at least from what I remember, it's about 8 hours. It could go up to 12, but they couldn't get their attacks in. I don't know what they're complaining about. I don't care. If I miss it, I miss it. I can give someone my... Actually, no, I'm not going to say that. Maybe it's illegal to Com2uS, but...
Yeah. All right. Anyways, solid podcast today. Yeah, very, very solid podcast. We went over a couple different great topics, SWC finals, as well as the updates and the changes, which we'll talk about more, I guess, once they get implemented, because we don't know for sure until they get implemented. They might do other things or change things as well. And we talked a little bit about the Lost Centuria. So we'll cover these topics again, probably in the following weeks. Another topic I want to bring up again is because we want to keep talking about it, is about the RTA system, right? It's going to be a big fix. There's going to be a lot of different things and a lot of opinions that need to come in to make it happen. But I think revitalizing it will be great for the entire environment of Summoners War itself. So we're going to be talking about that some more next week. And we'll talk about the Siege tournament as well. We'll bring some Siege experts in to kind of discuss that as well. But thank you guys for joining me as well for today's podcast, especially Faraz coming in at the very end here. I know you had a little time to pop in, so appreciate your insight. Gonna put the links to all of their Twitch channels down below. Everybody here does stream quite a bit right here and there, so make sure you guys check them out, talk to them about different topics and issues, and next time we have them on, they can express them for the podcast. If you guys are watching live, leave your comments down below. I mean, if you guys are watching YouTube, leave your comments down below. Love to hear all the things you guys have to say, and I believe Com2uS does read all those comments, so go ahead and put any of the suggestions you've ever wanted to tell Com2uS right down below, and we'll see you guys in the next live streamer video. Peace out, YouTube.
You guys.
All right, thank you guys, I appreciate that.
Thanks, guys.
No worries, cheers. I will see you next week.
I apologize, guys.